first, I want to get your comments. What do you make of Ms. Pelosi now joining in Trump about their concerns over Huawei?
Well, the fact that Speaker Pelosi and President Trump can agree on anything is pretty miraculous, but it demonstrates that there is a all-of-government approach by the United States to use every tool in its arsenal, including bringing together 20 years of previously resolved civil issues, to try to hurt China and to hurt China by hurting Huawei. And the fact is, the United States is going to hurt Americans much more than they're going to hurt Huawei.
Andy, we were reading through some of the charges about IP theft. A lot of it came that Huawei wasn't investing a lot in its own R&D, and that's why perhaps maybe it was stealing IP from other companies. Huawei's private, so we can't see the R&D numbers. But what can you tell us about R&D and the spending that they have done to help alleviate any concerns that they've been instead stealing IP from other companies?
Well, Huawei didn't become the world-recognized leader in 5G technology by stealing other people's intellectual property. I mean, we have over 11,000 patents in the United States alone. Last year, we spent $15 billion for research and development around the world. We're going to spend $20 billion this year. So one of the great things is, as a former federal prosecutor, former attorney, that the United States courts are going to require evidence and not just braggadocio and repeated claims and trying to browbeat other countries into blocking Huawei.
You know, some of the other concerns were Huawei in the past has said that they blame some rogue actors from stealing. This was in part when they got caught stealing a photo of a robot from T-Mobile. And they say, oh, these are rogue actors. What can you do to alleviate concerns that this isn't orders from the Beijing government, that these were indeed rogue actors who have stolen some of the IP?
Well, there are a lot of issues subsumed within your question. The fact is, the issue you're talking about was a previously resolved civil case where the court found no malicious conduct by Huawei. But still, despite no additional evidence, the United States decided to bring that as a criminal case in the Western District of Washington. So in terms of the United States, we can put in place measures to prove that we are not subject to the undue influence of the China government, either regarding who we sell our products to in the United States or how we service those products. And we would just like the opportunity to have that conversation with the United States. So perhaps the United States would consider looking dispassionately at the potential benefits from Huawei, the consequences from not allowing Huawei to compete, and the potential risk mitigation that can provide assurance and transparency.
Let's have some of that conversation now. What can you tell us about any interactions that you have or have not had between Huawei and Beijing?
Well, we operate in 170 countries in the world, and we have the necessary communications with governments in those countries. And we strictly abide by the laws of the countries. But we are a privately owned company. Our records are open. Anybody can take a look at it. And we're not going to be forced by any country in the world, and we've never been asked by any country, to steal data or implant backdoors, and we never would.
Huawei has been very successful in Europe, namely the UK has said that they will allow Huawei some partial access to help build out some of those 5G networks there. What is your response to that UK decision? Well,
the UK is using evidence on which to make decisions to make sure the citizens of the UK are safe. I just saw a major Canadian telecom just came out displaying all the pressure, and they're going to use Huawei. Germany and the European Union are going to try to deal with things based on real facts. The China government's allowing the European companies, Ericsson and Nokia, to compete against Chinese companies because they see the benefits of competition. The United States, as the UK and Europe, could benefit by encouraging competition in this space.